welcome to Bad Beat Sports Betting Week 9. We are over halfway done with this. Actually, I guess, this is the halfway point of the season because there's 17 weeks with the buys. Last week, I did well on everything but my parlay. Got me right back close to 500 around where Steve is. And we both got wins on Monday night with the Packers, 7 plus 7.5. How you doing, Steve?
Doing all right. Not as good as you're doing. I didn't have nearly as good of a week, but we're still trending by 500.
Mm-hmm. That's where we want to be. Then we just need one or two more big weeks, and you end up looking smart on the season.
I'm feeling good about my picks this week, but I feel good about my picks every week.
Yeah, I'm always confident until 1 p.m. on Sunday, and then it usually goes downhill pretty fast.
All right.
So I guess we'll get right going. Like I said, we both had a win on Thursday night. The Packers handled the third. I'd say it's probably down to third string 49ers with all their injuries and COVID outbreaks. The second game, the first game on Monday, is your Giants
Sunday
versus the Washington football team. It's flipped from last time where the Giants were favored by 2.5. This time in Washington, the football team favored by 2.5.
I'm not gonna pick since I'm a Giants fan, but I don't understand how the Giants flip to underdogs. I know our record is worse than the Washington football team, but look how close they played the Buccaneers. Is it just because they're playing on a shortened week? Is this game in Washington?
It is in Washington,
I guess that's
you
why.
usually get the 3-point swing based on home team. So I would say the odds, people probably think the Giants are a slightly better team, and I think that they'll win. I'm taking the 2.5 just because why not on the pick, but I think the Giants will win. Not handily. I think it'll be very close like last time where it came down to the last play. It just depends if Daniel Jones decides to play smart. Like, they could have won that Buccaneers game.
Oh yeah, I think Jones was the reason they lost that Buccaneers game.
Yeah, that was the first, because I listen to a lot of sports radio here in New York, and a lot of the time fans call up complaining about Daniel Jones. Not yesterday, but last Tuesday morning was one of the first times I actually agreed with what they said, that he cost them the game. But I think the Giants win cover the 2.5, probably pull out the game. Steve's not betting on this one because it's his team. Respect to that. Next game, Ravens at Colts. The Ravens coming off a loss to the Steelers, and the Colts beating the Lions last week. A lot of rushing touchdowns last week for the Colts.
I don't get why this line is so small. I know it's in Indianapolis, but the Ravens couple losses this year are to like contending teams. I don't really see this close. I obviously I'm taking that Ravens 1.5. Like I feel like you gotta be dumb not to.
Well, I'm dumb then because I'm taking the Colts money line. I think it's so close because of what you said. How the Ravens have played against good teams. And I think this is a prove-it game for the Colts because their record says they're a good team. You still have to. I don't have much faith in Phillip Rivers, so this is a big prove-it game for the Colts, and I think that's why it's so close. And I'm gonna take the Colts to cover.
Value pick for you.
I'm kind of a Ravens hater, in the sense that I don't think that Lamar Jackson's gonna do enough to win games like this. His season reminds me a lot of Cam Newton's season after winning the MVP award.
We will see on that one then.
Yep. Again, Colts getting a point at home. Then we have the Broncos at Falcons. Two struggling franchises. I think that the Falcons are on the right track. They're 4-point favorites at home. I think the Broncos will cover this spread.
Yeah, I think so too. I would even. Part of me wants to pick the money line, but I'm gonna play it safe and just take the +4. Every time I bet on the Falcons, it never works out, and I think this will be a very evenly matched game throughout. Also,
Yeah,
I think George is going to keep up the trends in seeing some lead changes this week.
Yeah, we definitely saw that. Yeah, I agree with you. I think Broncos with the +4 is the way to go there. Seahawks at Bills. I mentioned before we started recording that there were only a couple games where I had to think for a while, and this is one of them.
Yeah, this is
Because
this is tough. Two good teams.
Yeah, and the Seahawks are getting 3 points on the road, going to Buffalo, where I could be wrong, so don't quote my forecast, but I think there's snow in the forecast.
Is it up there? Is the weather that different at this
I
point?
don't know.
Because it's like 70 degrees out here, and
Yeah, I
we're
know
in
it's
southern New York.
on Long Island. It feels like a spring day, but I think there might be snow in the forecast for tomorrow. Again, don't quote me on that. I'm taking the Bills +3. First of all, the Seahawks can't help but play close games. I think every single game they played this year has been within a score. And the Bills they haven't played well for probably 4 weeks now. I just think it's a get right spot for them against a defense that's kind of leaky in Seattle, and without a dominant running game that Seattle usually has with Chris Carson. I think Buffalo will be able to control the clock and take some deep shots on that secondary.
Yeah, I was struggling with this one as well. I think I think it's a very evenly matched game. I'm not so sure that I think the Seahawks will wind up pulling it out, but I don't think I don't know if I would trust them to cover that. So I'm just going Seahawks money line here. I think they have a slight edge on the Bills.
Yeah, I'd agree with both teams healthy, and also going to Buffalo I think helps the Bills and getting those 3 points. Lions at Vikings. This game is. I didn't see the spread go up until this morning when I checked. It's Vikings 3.5 at home. I still don't know. I can't get a definite answer on if Matt Stafford's playing or not. Which obviously, I think if he plays, I would take the 3.5. If he doesn't play, then obviously I wouldn't take the 3.5. So I'm not betting on the point spread. I'm just taking the over 52 points. I think that it'll be a pretty high scoring game, and who doesn't like rooting for the over?
Yeah, I think I'm with you where it's just if Stafford plays, it's a Lions game, and if not, then it's a Vikings game. And I'm not going to make an official pick because of that.
Then we got Panthers at Chiefs. A lot of people have been saying this is a potential upset spot because the Chiefs might not be up for the game, but given that they had an essential bye playing the Jets last week, they've been preparing for this for a week plus. They're getting 10 points at home, and I think that the Panthers will be within the 10 points, but I don't think that they could win the game. I think they'll lose by 8 or 9.
I'm gonna just keep rolling my dice on my number one rule this season, and that's don't bet against the Chiefs. I could see it being somewhat close just because, especially McCaffrey's back this week, right?
Yeah, and Chris Jones is not playing, so it'll be a weak run defense for the Chiefs theoretically for McCaffrey, but I still don't think McCaffrey is enough to keep up with.
Nah, especially for his first week back, and I just think that Chiefs offense is gonna get rolling, even against the Panthers. So I'm taking Chiefs at -10. Just all year long, I'm rolling it on there.
We're going head to head on your rule again. Let's see if it bites me.
It's like putting money on black at this point. Maybe the odds are a little better actually.
Yeah, probably a little bit better. After that, we got Texans at Jaguars. Third string quarterback. I don't remember what his name is. They passed over Mike Glennon for the Jaguars. So the Titans are getting 6.5 points on the road. Did I say Titans? Texans are getting 6.5 points.
The new Houston team, not the old one.
Yep. And I think they'll cover the 6.5.
I see no reason to pick the Jaguars again for this season.
Yeah, I think that they're gonna try to lose out and hope that the Jets
win a game or two.
Win at some point.
We'll get to that later.
Yep. We should do like odds to get the number one pick. We'll both pick the Jets. Yeah. Not even worth doing an episode, I think. Bears at Titans is the last 1:00 game. the Titans are getting 6.5 points, and I don't really. I think it's too big a spread to take the Titans here. They haven't played well, kind of similar to Buffalo. And the Bears have been in every game for the most part.
That's pretty much where I lie. And I really like the Titans, but they haven't been playing well at all. And I definitely think the Bears can keep this game close, if not even win it. So I'm with you. I'm right there with you with the Bears 6.5.
Yeah, they've got a tough defense that keeps them in the game. It's just whether the offensive line can stay up, and no Jadeveon Clowney either for the Titans. So that's a little bit less of a pass rush, even though he hasn't been good this year. Into the 4:00 game, the Chargers always play a 4:00 game that nobody cares about. This time they host the Raiders at home. They're getting 1 point at home, and I'm eating that up. Raiders +1.
Yeah, this game is just a pick 'em, and
you love Justin Herbert.
I just really like Justin Herbert, so Chargers -1. It's the only thing for me to say for them. I don't know anything else about the Chargers at this point.
I'm just weary to ever take points with the Chargers. It's even though it's only 1 point, but they're the Falcons light. Like they just find ways to lose. I do like Herbert, like you do too. Steelers at Cowboys, getting 14.5 points on the road. Now this is interesting. In Mike Tomlin's career, he's 1-9 when being against the spread. He's won the games, but he's 1-9 against the spread, being a 10-point favorite or better. So part of me wants to get behind Garrett Gilbert and the Cowboys, but I don't think I could do it. I think Steelers by 2 touchdowns.
I think this situation in Dallas at this point makes it I think the spread is big, but I understand why it's big. Dallas is gonna be trending down all year at this point.
Yeah, agreed. Then a more interesting 4:25 game, Dolphins with Tua at the Kyler Murray-led Cardinals. They faced off a couple years ago, if you remember, in the first round of the college football playoffs. Of course, Alabama crushed Oklahoma. This time, the Cardinals and Kyler Murray are favored by 4.5 points. I think Tua will cover it. Maybe not even by his own will. It might be a game like last week where the defense gets involved and scores a little bit, but I think the Dolphins will keep it close. They've earned the competitive team.
Oh yeah, the way they played against the Rams has made me want to pick them in this game. And also, I realized we're probably gonna get stuck with the snooze fest of the Steelers versus Cowboys instead of this game.
Yeah, probably. I'm hoping there's two games.
Hopefully,
probably.
Watch. The other game's gonna be the Chargers game instead. Give me a good 4:00 game.
But at least we got a good Sunday night game with the Saints at Buccaneers. Antonio Brown expected to play. Knock on wood, Michael Thomas finally plays. Could definitely use him for my fantasy team. But the Bucs are favored by 4.5 points, and I think that's right where it should be in Tampa Bay. I think they'll cover the 4.5. I just think they're a better team, better defense, and Tom Brady has something to prove. This is one of those games where I think there'll be a lot of doubters. A lot of people say, "Oh, Drew Brees could beat this version of Tom Brady," and Tom Brady will just come out gunslinging.
Yeah, I'm just picking Buccaneers money line. I'm just a little weary with the way they play the Giants and coming off a shortened week. But then again, I feel like this is one of those games where they may just bounce back and be angry and put up lots of points.
But, yeah, they were my whole thing about picking the Giants last week was that they were looking past to this game.
So I'm going to play it safe and take the Buccaneers money line, but I do have a good feeling they'll cover that 4.5.
As do I. And then Monday night, I don't know how they let this happen. I guess it's a divisional game.
Yeah.
But Patriots this should be a Thursday night game. It'll be so bad. Patriots at Jets. Line opened up at a touchdown for the Patriots on the road. It's up to 9.5. Because obviously I don't pick the Jets because they're my team. I'm interested to see if the extra 2.5 points makes you back off.
Yeah,
considering how bad.
Notice that until you mention this now, because I had Patriots -7, and I am like, I think the Patriots are clearly. I mean, every team is a better team than the Jets at this point, And the Jets have not done well against the spread, even with big spreads. But I do feel like these divisional matchups, the Jets do love to play their arch nemesis hard sometimes. And you know what? I'm gonna have a little fun with this, and I'm gonna take the Jets plus 9.5 here. I'm gonna swap now that that line's moved up. We'll see. I don't foresee the Jets winning it, but hey, maybe they'll keep it close. Keep it within a
Hopefully,
touchdown.
hopefully, because I'm gonna be watching either way.
Yeah,
Definitely gonna
give
be
us
fun
something to
Monday
look
night.
forward to on Monday. All right, it seems we got some post production breaking news, or at least breaking news to me. Joe Flacco is starting for the Jets, so I will not be taking the Jets against the spread against the Patriots. I will stick with Patriots. They will cover that 9.5. Call it a lock.
So now we'll get to our parlays. I've got my drinks on me parlay. Didn't hit last week. It was actually the only picks that I lost for in this parlay. So hopefully it's not a kiss of death again. But I'll start with Chicago Bears plus 6.5. Then I go to Christian McCaffrey's back. They have his over under for yards at 50.5. So I'm taking that all day against a Chris Jones-less Chiefs team. Colts plus 1. Daniel Jones over 19.5 rushing yards.
I feel like that's pretty given usually.
I mean, he's the fastest quarterback in the league, so let's hope he's running. Then we got Bills plus 3, and then those are all 1:00 games. So then I just have the Steelers money line, just for fun at the end.
All right, and week 2 of the Steve special, which did not hit last week, but I'm changing up, and I definitely did not just make this on the fly a minute ago. Promise you guys that. All right, so in this we got the Chicago Bears plus 6.5. We're gonna join Dave right there. I'm taking the over in that Dolphins Cardinals game, over 49 points. I'm gonna take the Texans to cover the 6.5 against the Jaguars, and I'm going to take the Seahawks money line against the Bills. That will give you a plus 1,056 odds. So I think $10 on that gives you like $105.60.
Solid return. Yeah, a lot of research goes into these picks and stuff. Make your picks responsibly. Thank you guys for listening.
Don't bet the house.
Yep.
Especially, never mind. I'm not gonna go there.
Do you have any points for closing?
No, I do not. We're gonna be getting a video out about future picks coming up soon. Team futures with
hopefully
division
this
winners.
week we have time to do it.
Yeah, maybe we'll have it up Wednesday night, maybe, or Thursday morning. Film it Wednesday night, maybe.
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
All right. So good luck, everyone, and hopefully hopefully Dave keeps up his luck this week, and hopefully I have a better week.
Have a good week 9.